Hello everybody, my name is Ryan Willis and I will be presenting the secondary mortgage markets slideshow to you today. So, what is the difference between the primary mortgage market and the secondary mortgage market? In order to completely understand the secondary market, we have to re-examine the primary mortgage market first. So the primary mortgage market is mainly for financing homes with a mortgage loan. The buyer lender does business in the primary mortgage market. The secondary market allows the lender to regain all the finances that were lent in the first place. This is done by going through outside investors within the secondary mortgage market. So within the secondary mortgage market, there are three separate parties or groups that interact with each other. The first one being the group called the originators. So these are the people that give out the money in the first place or make the loan in the first place, such as banks or credit unions. Basically, the originator's task is to approve consumer loans. The second group of people are called aggregators, which include banks as well or enterprises. And what the aggregators do is they buy mortgages from the originators and bundle them up and sell them or resell them to investors. Which brings us to the third group of people within the secondary mortgage market, which are the investors. So investors can be companies, banks, individual investors such as me and you. And what the investors do is they buy these mortgage bundles or parts of the mortgage bundles from the aggregators. And as an investment, the reason investors like this is because the investment is 100% backed by a mortgage, which we'll talk about in the next slide. So like I mentioned on the previous slide, the reason that these types of investments are appealing to investors is because they are what is called a mortgage-backed security, or an MBS, meaning that these investments are 100% backed by a mortgage, which should be paid off in full at some point in time. So for example, take the stock market, which a lot of us are familiar with. When a company first becomes a publicly traded company, they only allow a certain number of shares in the company to be bought, also known as stock. So this would be considered the primary market when the company sells to the public. But once those stocks are bought by investors or shareholders, then the trading begins to occur in the secondary market. The company doesn't exchange stocks with shareholders, but instead investors buy and sell to each other. So it doesn't affect the company, the amount of stocks in the company, but the secondary market allows for trading between individual investors. So in the sense of the secondary mortgage market, this is similar to what happens. The original loan company makes a loan to whoever, and then they sell that mortgage to the aggregators, receiving money so that they can make more loans. And then the aggregators sell parts of that to investors to have a MBS, or the mortgage-backed security. So what does the secondary mortgage market look like today? First of all, there has been much success for investors in the secondary mortgage market because of the well-known 100% backed MBS. mortgage-backed security. Almost half of the funds for mortgages for single-family homes are done through secondary mortgage market funds, surprisingly. The only downturn that has been going on the past couple of years is it's become more risky because of the increase of subprime loans that are lent out. People are now less likely to pay off their mortgage, thus creating more risk for investors.